Morning traders. So let's have a look at our standard Aussie Wall Street and DAX after yesterday's trading session. So I think before we get into that, Trump and China are at it again. So the futures market fell quite substantially overnight, specifically the USA and the DAX, which we'll look at just now. But surprisingly, the Aussie is holding itself up, which is good to see. So, yes, I think if you're not keeping abreast with the Trump and China trade war tit for tat, basically what's happening is every time Trump comes up with wanting to slap another 100 million or $1 billion worth of tariffs on China, China retaliates with the same thing. And the real problem to this is that little made in China label is everywhere. So the people that are going to get hurt is the US economy. And I think the basis of it really is that so Trump's tax reform is failing. So his revenue is declining. So he's looking for additional sources of revenue. So in his wisdom, he's tackling China and trying to slap the import duty on there, which will increase his tax revenue. So essentially, he's just trying to tax a US citizen with a 25% tax to cover the 1% tax that the majority tax savings that the majority of them got. So anyway, that's going to create a lot more volatility in the market. Let's have a look here. So let's get some levels in. You can ignore that one for now. This is a very important level here. So this tail that you see here is a pretty important level. Let's just have a look at what's happening on the Ichimoku. So Kijun is flat. The cloud is turning flat, and Kijun is still pointing to the downside. Sorry, Kijun is still pointing to the downside. So we would expect this thing to start turning, if not today or tomorrow, provided that we hold ourselves up here and don't fall. That would give us an indication, confirmation really, that this rejection bar is something that we can take note of. And I think the other thing is, so that downward trend line has been broken. Okay, so our next trend, let's get this properly. Our next trend for the Aussie is that one there. Okay, so that would be our next trend line target, which coincides quite nicely with the 200 EMA. And the second level that we need to pay attention to is that one there. Okay, see why I've drawn it, bottom of that pin bar. And if I look to the left, it will line up with something, and it lines up with this top of this channel here. Okay, let's just have a look at the 4-hour, see if I can find anything. So yesterday I was looking for an entry down the bottom from a pullback, which didn't really materialize. So still sit on hands for any medium-term positions for me on the Aussie. And what I did mention in yesterday's video is I'll talk to you at another stage about how to play big gaps like this. So typically what happens is this tail here, when you gap up, it does come get tested sometimes. Okay, get tested and then move to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of the way that I play it. And we're sitting, futures market is sitting at 785, which is roughly around there. So actually not too bad considering how the US markets are looking at the moment. Okay, so as I said, this is a pretty interesting level, and there's something that I see here, and we have a island reversal. Okay, so in other words, price gap down, it's consolidated, and then it's gapped up, and price hasn't come to close this gap yet. So this group of candles here is the island, and normally what you need to look at it is look at it as a range. So that's the range essentially, and a break of that range gives us this area here. Okay, so remember it's never exact, so we could hit the cloud. We got an angle like this, or the 204-hour EMA. Okay, and then the last thing here, let's just leave that in. There is a breakout. See, there's a previous low. Okay, so it's that low, then it's this one, and then it'll be that one. So those are the 3 levels, so 4 levels. There's the first one which we're on now, second, third, and fourth. And then obviously you've got the cloud in between. So you've got a flat cloud there, you've got a flat cloud there, you've got a flat cloud there. So there's quite a few target areas up in this area at the moment. Okay. Yeah, so I'm still looking for longs. So I may scalp a short if it's on the cards, but my medium-term position is really for a long, but I'd like to get it at a better price. So I'm going to continue assuming that this rejection bar is real, and I think pretty soon the markets are going to realize that the Trump talk is exactly that, it's talk. It's going to take him a good couple of months to get what he wants to do through his process anyway. So I mean, just look how long it took the tax reform to get through. So anyway, so I think the markets they started calming down yesterday until he opened his mouth again. So I still think the markets will calm down and recover slightly. We may not push to all-time highs again, and we may just range. So the market will come to the top and then down and then top, which is also fine because it gives us targets to play to the top and bottom. Okay, so yeah, so that's my view here. I think let's just get a 1 hour brief on this as well. So I know I got some questions yesterday on Ichimoku. So just have a look at the 1 hour here. So we've had a range. This is the long-term range, which is our island reversal, right? But we are on the top of the cloud. And you can see how 2 things have come into play. The top of the cloud, okay, the previous breakout retest, which is this area here, and then the third thing is the 100 EMA on the hour here. So from a bullish perspective for Ichimoku, we had a crossover with Kijun-sen and Kijun-sen there. We had a twist over there, and we also broke through cloud with Seiko's band. Sorry, not the cloud. We've broken through price and Kijun-sen and Kijun-sen with Seiko's band with brown line. So for this to be fully bullish, we need Seiko's band to be above cloud and look at the heights of this cloud. So it's going to be quite difficult for it to get through the cloud. So I suspect we're going to drop probably back into the cloud and hover around in the cloud. Anything around this purple line here, I'll take a stab at a long here because I would expect this breakout here to be tested. Take a stab at a long here. If we push back and we manage to break through the cloud, I'll be able to move stop up and hold it. Otherwise, I'll take profit at the top here. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the Aussie today. Let's just quickly get to Wall Street. So the daily. So Wall Street was looking pretty good. And I actually had some trades in on the long side, but I got out when I saw what was going on. So again, quick summary, we're off the 200 EMA. We had a little bit of divergence here. Okay, we've had an engulfing candle, we've had an inside bar, we've had a nice tail. So you can see how Kijun-sen sort of held up price yesterday. So this green line here, this green candle here is yesterday. This is after hours data, okay, for today. So, and you also see how the 100 EMA held up price on the daily. Right? So Sequoia are still below price, and probably going to be doing this range will be the area that we're going to trade in for, I reckon, another couple of days still. Okay, so if you look at the 4 hour, we had a really good breakthrough of the cloud, and we've had a retest now. Granted, it's after hours data, but it's typically plays out anyway. So a couple of key things to see here, and I keep talking about it. The 200 EMA, see how it offers support, sorry, resistance. Okay, now if I line this up, there's a breakout level there, okay, which we tested for a bit, and then we broke through it. So the minute that happens is you start looking for the next breakout level, and there is one, and there is another. So just make sure you're clear on what I'm referring to as the breakout level. The tails of these bars here. So there's previous low, there's previous low. So those are the low points. This one, and that one. So those are our breakouts, right? And look what price did. It hit this one, broke through. We immediately look for the next one because this was the previous high. Look left, you'll see it's previous low as well as the previous high. If we broke through that, that is the next level, and then there's a level. Okay, so ultimately, you could have been playing for a short here. But this was quite late in the evening, so probably not something that I'd normally do. Just because it's late in the trading day, and I'd like to get established before I leave something in overnight. I don't like putting a trade in for close. Okay, so yeah, so there you can see why we turned. Okay, so we turned at that point, 200 EMA plus breakout level. Okay, so that's two signals that it's giving you. Okay, and then we had a range bar. So let me just tidy this up. Actually, let's take that one off. And I often talk about the range bar, and this is why. 200% here is the height of the range, and look what happened. We had profit taking, okay? And at the same time, it lines up with the test of this breakout. Okay, so now if I was trading on IG, I would have had a signal, sorry, a trigger sitting here, so I would have had an order sitting right here to take a long. But I've moved my trading across to GT24, so I haven't really been triggered yet on this one. Okay, so yeah, so that's kind of where we are on this. Pretty good example of how the levels play a role and how the range bars play a role and the breakout retest. And I think last thing on this one is to understand that we are above Tegenson, and we're sort of looking like a rejection bar off Tegenson, and Tegenson pointing up. So what we want is Tegenson to start pointing to the upside. We have broken through price here, come back, and now we need this to break through the cloud. Should this happen, we've already got a bullish future, okay, and pointing up. The only concern I've got is this flat Tegenson and the flat cloud. So the minute those start pointing to the upside and this breaks through, you can pretty much be confident that we're going to have a push up to the upside. Let's just scroll down to the 1 hour. So yeah, so I'm really looking, I'll go long at this area. So I'd look for, if we do come back here, we may create a double bottom, or alternatively we'll come to the next level, and the next level will be this pin bar here. Okay, and then it'll be the cloud. The other thing we need to pay attention to will be pivots. Oops. So we have the weekly pivot, which also acted as a level. So maybe another pushback to test this pin bar, but this is a rejection bar. I'll definitely be looking for something in this area. And you can see on the Williams, we've hit the middle line of the Williams alligator, which is always a good positive signal. Okay, so let's keep that one up. Right, okay. Yeah, so I'm looking for longs, and I'm looking for longs pretty much in this area, okay? But here, if this holds like it is now, that'll be positive. I mean, these moving averages are all crossed over as well, pointing to the upside on the hour. The DAX. Okay. So the DAX here is a pretty interesting one. So from a daily perspective, on the Ichimoku cloud, you can see how thick the cloud is. So the probability of a break up through this right now is very low. Okay. The other concern I have here is prices heading to the downside, but the OBV isn't heading to the upside. So this is reverse divergence or continuation divergence, and easier way of thinking of it, which basically means we're going to continue in the direction we're going, which is down. Okay. We do have 100, and we've had a crossover here. So that's a bearish crossover, and we're about to get another bearish crossover on the 200 and the 100. So this is not looking that pretty. I would say we just get to the 4-hour. So we have kind of broken through a trend line. We attempted to break through the 200 on the 4-hour, and we've come back. So the positive signals here is sitting on the 4-hour, where we've had one move up, we've had a pullback, we're above the cloud. You can see how Kiku's span has broken through the cloud, come back to test the cloud out. So on the 4-hour, we have some positive signals. A daily, it's still looking like we're going to be heading down. Okay, but remember, diversions is just to give you some warnings that something may happen. Sometimes it takes a while to play out. It might play out at this point. In other words, it may go all the way up to here and then come down, or it may create a new high, which would then invalidate this diversion. So don't use it as your sole method. So yeah, so I think on the 4-hour, we do have some positive signals, and you can see how we bounced off Tekken Sen, yeah, which is always positive. I would prefer to have Kijun Sen, the red line, pointing up as well, and the cloud pointing up. But we are dealing with after-hours data at the moment, so I think it's looking pretty good. I would, based on what I see here, I would be looking for a long in this area here. Okay, maybe off the 50 moving average, or off the cloud here, or on the retest here. So this would be a great area for me to get long. Let's just have a look at the 1-hour. Okay, so 1-hour, we've broken through the cloud. You can see how we followed Dickinson all the way up, and then with the Trump noise, we fell through, and now we are getting a bearish crossover on the 1-hour. Okay, we're quite far from the cloud. Moving averages are up, so I would expect at open probably another move to the downside. And let's just get all these levels. So there is one level there, which it looks like we're holding on. Okay, so that's the previous high. So this is the next. Let's delete that one. Let's get this. Copy. Let's get that there. So that is the next level. Okay. And looking to this side, you can see our target areas are going to be that pin bar first, and then followed by that pin bar, and then followed by that top. And that's a pretty big level there. There's 1, 2, 3 touches there already. So that would be our target area. You can see we fell short here. And often when that happens, we pull back for another attack at this level. And it'll either form a double top, or it'll break through, hit the next level, pull back, then hit the next level, then pull back. So I'm still bullish. Just want a cheaper price, so I'm looking in this area here. Okay guys, that's it for the morning review. Hope it helps. Remember to subscribe, share, like, dislike. Let me know what you think in the comment, and I'll catch up with you later.